You're listening to a main feed episode. Go to patreon.com/Celtic Ligers where €5 a month gets you weekly full-length episodes, stray bonus content and access to the back catalogue. Also helps cover hosting and gives us money for sweeties. Thank you. Celtic Ligers.
Recorded 10th of March 2025.
And we're recording, and hopefully the levels on this Yeti microphone will be okay. We'll find out.
Yet again,
huh? How are you? This one, I don't know what's going to happen in this episode. We're just going to have to wait and see. I have no enthusiasm or excitement for the news. I'm fed up of opening up the feeds and seeing the latest fucking fat oaf talking about neutrality and ending it and sending people off to die.
Turn on your screen.
Yeah. It doesn't work. It works with the first thing I said, but not the second thing I said, you know?
Well, you talk about neutrality.
Well, getting rid of it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Did you see, like, not to get into the news too soon, because obviously we need to have the millennial patter part of the podcast. Otherwise, what even is it? What even is it without that, you know?
Yeah.
But did you see, you know,
millennial patter? Who called it that?
I read a tweet that said, like, oh, you know, these podcasts where they have, like, millennial patter that lasts about 40 minutes at the start. And I was like, it was one of those moments, you know, when you hear something, you're just like, no, I do that, you know, and it just ruined me. It just ruined me. But did you see Tom Clonan, who was one of the weirdest guys ever? And like, he just will go, yeah, you were saying, but he's talking to Fergus Finlay on RT Radio. And so anyway, Sarah McInerney was like interviewing the pair of them, and anyway, I'd read on Twitter they were like, he was so rude to Fergus Finlay. He was so rude to him, and I was like, oh, that's by their definition, though, isn't it? And then I like listened to it. And he's just like, he actually does. He does go pretty hard on him. Even, you know, even by their standards, it's a little hard in a good way, as in like, fuck Fergus Finlay, who wrote this article where he's like, we can't allow our neutrality to, you know, neutrality is a luxury we can't afford anymore, is what he was saying, you know.
Original title: Fergus Finlay, our neutrality is vanity, we have to join the fight. Now change to Fergus Finlay, Ireland's neutrality served us well, but now it's time to move on. And
so Tom Clonan, so they go, you know, Sarah McInerney's like, Tom, I'm going to go to you first. And like Fergus, I'm going to go to you first. Like, what do you make of blah, blah, whatever? She asks him a question. He's like, well, as Tom called me on the way in, General Finlay, you know, he goes, and I was like, that's funny.
Fergus, I might come to yourself first, because you wrote this column in the Irish Examiner yesterday saying that Ireland's military neutrality effectively ended last week. Can you tell me, how did you arrive at that conclusion?
Well, Tom has already introduced himself to me and described me as General Finlay. I hope I'll never beat that.
And then, like, Tom Clonan shows absolutely no respect for Fergus Finlay the entire interview. He just calls him, like, he's like, well, Fergus's fucking article, you know. It was really good. But he just goes like, one of the things he said was, what's the word? It's some fucking, I was trying to remember it, and my parents knew it immediately, so it makes me think that it's something that old people use to describe kind of like it's like a war hawk, or it's like, you know, what is it? Whatever. I'm going to say war hawk.
I'll look it up.
The clip will say different. But he goes like, Tom Clonan's like, we have you know, an expression in the armed services, which I served in.
Oh yeah.
Where he goes like, once a war hawk, now a feather duster. Oh, once a cock of war, now a feather duster. Okay.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you didn't even serve, and you're wanting people to go off and fucking give their lives. And also, you're giving out about us not pulling our weight. It's like, we've pulled our weight plenty. You know, neutrality, triple lock or no triple lock. You know, people, they're sent over on these missions. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and you discredit them when you say this stuff, you know? So anyway, Fergus Finlay then goes like, and to call me like a feather duster, it's a low blow. It's beneath you. It's not worthy of a response. And then Tom Clonan just goes on like, yeah, you're a bitch, you're a dumbass. And then Fergus Finlay, like, you can hear him like, okay, now I need to get in again, you know?
To go around comparing me to feather dusters is just a cheap shot, Tom, which is way beneath you, way beneath you. I was going to say that I utterly agree with most of the arguments that you have put forward, most of them. But when you parade these kind of cheap, nasty shots around, you don't deserve to be listened to.
Well, Fergus, you know, your manufactured outrage. When I read your article yesterday, riddled with inaccuracies and breathless assertions about joining a fight, I must say, I very rarely get annoyed, but I found it, and first of all, you denigrate the service of Irish troops overseas.
No, I do not.
You did, because you said that we...
It was really good. It was very satisfying to have, you know, these columnists who just so flippantly say this, and they're given like very obvious marching orders where like they just repeat the same shit the same way. It's the same fucking article again and again and again, and it's this oh God, it's just so grotesque and awful. And it's like, I guess it's just like last year, if you had said that this is the conversation we're going to be having, I probably would have believed you, but I would have just been like, really? Given everything that's going on, this is the conversation we're going to be having? This is their priority? This is what they're going to fucking do? You know? And it's just so depressing. So it was great to see Fergus Finlay made to feel like the tit he is. But then Tom Clonan, I was like, he was like promoting an article he wrote for the Journal about, you know, the triple lock. So I decided to read it, and it was kind of like, I don't know, just fucking...
What was he saying?
It was more like, we need to invest in our armed forces. We're not a neutral state anyway. But it was just kind of like, it was kind of equivalent to like Pat Leahy sort of stuff, where you just reach the end of it and it feels like a big shrug. Do you know what I'm getting at?
This was Finlay, sorry.
No, this is Clonan. Finlay's article was treacly horseshit, where like, you know, oh God, I love our neutrality. I wish I didn't have to be writing this article, but unfortunately I do. Oh yeah, but that was it when Tom Clonan's like, you're not even going to fucking go and fight this war that you're advocating somebody else fight. And he goes, and then Finlay goes, I wish that I could fight this war. Would that I could give my life for the... And you're just like, you fucking oaf. You look... Like, because you see the footage of him, and he is a grotesque, okay? He is just a fucking blob. And it's like... You know, oh, I wish that I could go and kill for Ireland. You're like, fuck you, do you fucking...
I would give my right arm at the drop of a hat to put myself in harm's way rather than any of my grandchildren or my children or their generation. I can't. I wish I could, but I can't.
Oh, I'd die for Ireland if only I wasn't such a fat, freakish oaf.
If I wasn't so fat and old, I would die for Ireland. I'd die for Ireland, but like, you know... I'll just die from being fat and old.
From cholesterol poisoning. From lard poisoning.
He had what was the thing he said
about
it?
He goes, a lard grenade.
My favourite thing that he did as well was that Tom Clonan goes like, you know, you're besmirching like the armed forces when you say this stuff because you're acting like they don't do anything essentially. He's like, and he goes, oh really am I besmirching my father and my uncles who fought in the and I was kind of thinking like, well yeah, you are, like that's what he's saying. I was like, but I've actually had my dad actually was in war. It's like that Vine. Do you remember that one? You're speaking to a future U.S. Army soldier. You know,
you're disrespecting a future U.S. Army soldier.
It's very funny.
Yeah, I was telling you about the primetime episode.
Yeah,
I watched. It is Richard Boyd Barrett versus some other guy. Let me see if I can figure out who he was.
Well, it's just even with Katie Hannon. I was going to talk about this lineup that they had last week to discuss neutrality, and they had Lynn Boylan, Alan Shatter, what's the fucking dickhead, Matt Cooper, and then some other fucking ghoul, some ogre. Let me look up who it was. But it was such a funny thing of like, you know, like, and then remember that clip I sent you then that we played in last week's episode of Kieran Cuddihy? It turns out his name is Cuddihy. How could he advocate the horrible things that he's advocating for? But you know the way he, do you know the clip I was telling you about? Like, so they have Pascal Donahue. He interviews Pascal Donahue, and then hands it over to the panel, and they got Duncan Smith from Labour, who's like their, you know, spokesperson for defence. And then he's asking him, like, you know, do you think we need to spend more on defence? And then Duncan Smith's like, yeah, we need to spend more on defence. Barracks need to be upgraded, and we need to, like, you know, look at how we can kind of contribute more, essentially. But I can't remember what he's saying, but he was saying that we need to spend more on Ireland's defence, obviously. That's what he's saying. I don't necessarily think that. But, like, and then he goes... And then when the minister was on, I was disappointed that he didn't expand on the triple lock. And then Cuddihy just goes, do you know why I didn't ask him about the triple lock? And I was like, well, that's actually not what he said. He was saying that the minister didn't expand on it. He said absolutely nothing about your interviewing technique, okay? But he's like, do you know why I didn't ask him about the triple lock? Because it doesn't matter at us. It doesn't matter. And he just starts like flippantly talking about how it's a pile of shit.
It really was like unloaded.
It was awful. It was true. Like, I think I've heard somewhere, and I need to verify this, but that he actually used to be a lobbyist for some sort of weapons manufacturer or something like that. Like, he has like some sort of shady background that doesn't make him an impartial figure on this.
Kieran Cuddihy hosted an event called National Security Summit Ireland on the 1st of June 2022. Essentially the consultative forums to increase defence spending and erode neutrality, but before it was cool.
Anyway, that was the thing. It was like, yeah, the most mask off. It was like, but sorry, the reason I brought that up was because Duncan Smith was like, well, it is important, and I think, you know, we need to have the conversation. And then he goes, we're having the conversation. How much longer do we need to have it? And I was like, the thing that Duncan Smith pointed out, which is entirely correct, he was like, you know, we need to invest in our armed forces, and that's the conversation we need to be having. Maybe debatable, but he's like, but in the past 3 months, it's just switched to targeting our neutrality, you know, and that's what it's been. It's been an onslaught on our neutrality, and that's what it has. That's what it's been. But anyway, when this guy goes like, Cuddihy just goes like, Jesus, how do we need to keep having the conversation? Then the conversations that they're talking about are like, everybody agreeing that we need to spend more on defense, and everybody agreeing that Putin is communist Hitler and we need to go to the front lines. But how do we go to the, you know, it's like like Iraq. It's just so, the idea, what was that? Well, it was a Chomsky quote about like, it's important that, you know, when you're like in manufacturing consent, that there be the appearance of debate and that the debate be robust, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, the thing I saw was, because the fellow who was like, neutrality is a myth. What's his name? He was a former, whatever this means, Vice Admiral. Don't know what's so admirable about him, but
yeah,
Mark
he's certainly got some vices, isn't that? He likes people to die in foreign conflicts.
Mark Mellett, that's the name of the Elephant Man.
No, that's John Merrick.
Oh. And he was like up against Boyd Barrett. And then he gets on, he's like, neutrality is a myth because we live in a global world. So like, you're trading with other people, so you can't be neutral if you're trading.
What does that mean? That's stupid.
It doesn't mean anything. And then Boyd Barrett was like, you know, that's bullshit, obviously. Yeah. And then in the next breath, he goes like, oh, but I love our neutrality. It's very important, and no one's threatening to take it away. It's like 2 sentences ago, you just said it was a myth.
Yeah.
And now you're saying it's never going away. Like, it's so obviously bullshit.
Yeah.
Because the arguments people are making are just constantly shifting, you know?
Yeah.
Even within the same discussion.
Yeah, and we like, you know that I mean, this is just the way I talk, so sorry if it's all over the place. But you know that thing where it's like, if they wanted to solve the housing crisis, why don't they just do this? And you go, well, no, it's working exactly as they intended to work. So it's like you can be confused looking at it, but then when you realize what they intend, then you're like, oh, that makes sense, you know? So the intention of like, you go like, well, what you said makes absolutely no sense. But when I realized that all you want to do is send people over to die, then it makes plenty of sense, you know?
I think it's two things. They want to go to war, right? And then they also want to get like war industry investment into Ireland. You know, like those are the two things.
Why couldn't it be like, you know, trains or something? You know?
Yeah, I know. Or like, what do other countries have though? We don't.
Tram services. Like,
yeah.
What's that one of the? I read an article there about like the the way that our airport is like not connected to some sort of metro. You know, the international airports in most places have a train linking them or some sort of rail service. But apparently that was like always intended to happen. And it was like, eventually we'll get the money and then we'll finish that off. And then they just never did it. And now they're looking into it. And then I was looking at this. Cost of long delayed Dublin Airport Metro link could rise to more than €23 billion, Minister told. I'm just like, do they just like make these figures up? Like just out of nothing? It's 23 billion. It's like, why? You have to like look at the land and whatever, you know. It's going to be 23 billion, I think. So
I really do think they know how to build a train.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they know where the airport is.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
I know.
And it's hardly like $1 billion per kilometre.
No.
For like a bit of wood and metal. You know what I mean?
Maybe you have to like buy the land and then you have to like source the trains and then try to figure out I could imagine there's things, but anytime I try racking up the cost, I'm like 23 billion.
I honestly feel like it's a one-man job, if I'm 100% on. Give one guy like 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But by the way, this is Darragh O'Brien's department now. He's the minister who's in charge of this. So
great.
Yeah.
Ken Curly Wee himself.
What was the thing of the 23 billion? Oh yeah, but then like what are we kicking in for like a proposed defense? Or like 16 billion or something?
It's 2% of our GDP.
Yeah.
Or maybe 3%.
Of course, the answer is obvious, so I won't bore anybody by...
Yeah, everyone just divide the GDP by whatever it takes to get to 2%.
I've done it in my head now, and I'm done. I'm finished. I've done it.
Yeah, I've deleted that.
But I know that, like, you know, I'm going to leave some fun for the rest of you. You can figure it out yourself.
I'm looking forward to having a good Irish army. I shouldn't say good, expensive Irish army. You know?
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting to see. You know?
Yeah.
Because you know the way the guards they keep relaxing all the standards.
Yeah.
And now there's like, if you walk around town, there's a guard who's like 5'1" and 75 years old. You know? He's like, I just joined.
Yeah.
So one day you'll like walk out and it'll be like a helicopter being flown by like a 98-year-old. Like it's flying like 5 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
1 kilometer an hour. And although get those ones that are like too complicated for the Irish mind to comprehend. You know the one Prince Harry had to fly?
Yeah.
What do you?
The silly ones. The ones that are idiot proof.
It was supposedly a real complicated one. That's what they said. I'm sure they had someone actually doing the flying.
Yeah.
But it's like, you have two little binoculars. One goes over each eye.
Mm.
And they each do different things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like one's behind you and one's in front of you.
Yeah.
No Irishman could do that.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. And if you think we're being like, the weird thing is that like my opinion of Irish people is probably similar to some American or a Brit in like the turn of the last century, you know, where we get the calipers out and we're looking at skull sizes, and I was like, the thing is that the Irish mind, and then people are like, oh, that's actually like really racist and reductive, and I was like, you should watch an episode of Quiz Zone and tell me that those children aren't like, when you look at like like there used to be a show 50-50 where it's like on the BBC, and there was like ball pits and shit like this. I was like, the British kids are like fucking running laps around the Irish kids in this intellectual this game of what's the word? See, this is it. And I'm Irish. I can't think of words. I can't think of what like word I want to say here. Okay.
In an English quiz show, it's like the kids have to do like maths quizzes and history quizzes, whereas in the Irish one, it's like here's a room full of like encyclopedias.
Yeah.
Like, just answer one question. Like, here's just one question.
What is the capital of France?
What is? Here's every encyclopedia. Here's a map. You know,
multiple
what I mean?
choice as well.
And they're like panicking.
Yeah.
They're like fighting.
I love the. They also have the access to the internet in some of the Quiz Zone things as well. So sometimes they'll be like, in this round, you do not have access to the internet. And I was like, those are like, oof, boy, now I have to read a book or know something without reading the book. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really just now I have to know how to use a book.
No, I know. I don't know how to flip to the back, look up France, and then go to page 22 in the, Doreen Kingsley or whatever encyclopedia for children.
Yeah.
No good. No bueno. Which means no good in Spanish.
Yeah. I think English children are smarter than Irish children.
Is that bad to say? Is that bad to say?
But there is a type of English guy who's like deeply more stupid than.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Like
yeah. No, absolutely.
It really is like they have no brain. You read about those guys like he was 55 and he realized he was born without a brain.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of English people.
It's more evenly distributed in Ireland, It's like everybody's like a little bit stupid, as opposed to over in England where it's like all the stupidity is located in this one fucking, but it's like there's an army of them. And they are very influential is the other thing. They have an outsized, whatever. What am I saying? Like everybody, like all the stupid people here have the most outsized impact on. People should be allowed. You should have to do a test before you're allowed to vote. That's what I think.
Irish people are clever in a certain sort of way. You know what I mean?
Emotionally intelligent as well.
Yeah. Whereas in England, you get someone who's like, they don't know how an oven works. It's like they don't know how to turn it on because they just leave it running the whole time.
Yeah. That's what they're like.
That's what they're bloody like. Hey, they're at it again.
Did you hear?
Maybe it's on my favourite website. Are the Brits at it again?
By the way, what was it? Jerry McBride followed us. He's one of the two guys who writes for Waterford Whispers. And I feel like you followed him and now he followed us back. And I was like, don't follow him. I don't want him hearing anything that we're saying. Steal our ideas.
Steal our ideas.
Yeah.
Let's see what's on Waterford Whispers right now.
By the way, did you see that Snape is black now? Are you furious?
Yeah. I thought Trump got rid of the now Snape is black. What is he black for? Like, what is?
It's played by a black actor. Done, you know.
Yeah, but like what? For what?
Oh, they're making a Harry Potter TV show. John Lithgow's Dublin Door. Imagine that, Dublin Door. Okay, let's sit with that one a minute. We don't even need water for whispers right now. We have Dublin
let's just
Door.
linger here for a minute. Okay.
And it'd be like, hey, I'm a massive bender.
Yeah, first of all, he would not be. He would not be hiding it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
First of all, he'd be bloody t-shirt. I mean, can we say it? Can we say that? Second of all, what do we know about Dumbledore?
By the way, Dumbledore was already played by an Irishman from Cabra. So he's already been Dublin Door. I think he's from
okay.
Cabra.
What was he like?
Michael Gambon. A lot of people.
What was he like?
I liked him, but he was divisive. Everybody always thought he didn't play it right.
Tell me another thing about Dumbledore.
Dumbledore is... Man, this is pretty interesting. How little there is to... He's just a kind of wizard who's like very mysterious, you know?
Yeah.
He's got a big white beard.
Right.
And he is gay. That's literally it. Those are the three things for Dumbledore.
There must be something else.
He must have been
in all the books, like.
No. I can't, like. I like, honestly, like, you know, I'm trying to think of, like.
He gets angry once, doesn't he? He's like, don't look in my wet. You know, he's the.
He doesn't get angry about that.
He does. He's screaming. Doesn't
he?
No,
he doesn't. That was the reason they didn't like Gambon in the movies, because Gambon would be yelling and roaring, and they'd be like, Dumbledore isn't like that. He doesn't raise his voice. He's kind of quiet and kind of, you know.
Okay, well, he has a pool of water in his...
Yeah, where he stores his memories.
Right. So what's that like?
It's a big old bowl filled with silvery liquid. Am I right? Huh? Might have him... I'm just saying...
He's gay.
Yeah, he's gay again. It all goes back to him being gay.
I was going to say it's like...
That's what all gay guys have. A big old bowl of fucking...
He's on Facebook. You know, his memories are on Facebook.
Yeah.
But he's like a horde, you know?
Yeah.
So he's sharing memories. And he's like... He's going, they're all snakes. They're all basilisks.
Mm.
Do you get me?
I get it, yeah.
So instead of the thing of water, where he stores his memories, he has Facebook.
Mm.
And he's sharing memories, and he's going, they're all basilisks.
Yeah.
Because there's one of them in the toilet.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a Phoenix, he has a Bully XL. And when he dies at the end, it's just because the Bully XL ate him. The Bully XL drank all the water and freaked out and thought he was
I don't know. This is really bothering me that I can't think of anything about him.
He has a wand. That's like a vape or a joint or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. This would be so fun. This would be so funny.
Yeah.
Right. The book ends with one of the zoom out. Dumbledore. He's just a normal guy, but he's smoking weed and he's hallucinated the whole thing.
Oh my god. What the hell? Well, I don't know what ending she had because I can't remember it. But if it wasn't that, do a rewrite.
And Harry Potter is like his brother.
Yeah.
And Hagrid's his brother as well.
Yeah.
And the Phoenix is his bully XL.
Yeah. And he's in a weed psychosis. He's in St. Pat's.
No, he's just smoking mid, you know?
Okay.
And, oh yeah, maybe he's in St. Pat and that's Hogwarts. It's called St. Hogwarts.
Instead of calling St. Pat's, it's called St. Hogwarts. That's one thing does carry over from his dream that he got right.
Yeah. He got the name of the place right.
It's St. Hogwarts in Dublin somewhere. Cabra.
Yeah.
Do you remember, like, it's hard to remember when you read this stuff because I remember, like, they were going, oh, Harry Potter's like kind of, they're like mystery books for kids and they're kind of cute and kids like them. So my mum picked one up at an airport to give to me and I was like, I remember cracking it open and then reading the word Hogwarts and being like, I'm out straight away. The name of Hogwarts, that's so lame, that's so stupid. Magic stuff is like babies, you know. I
love them so much, so deeply.
The books.
Yeah.
No, I loved them, but like when it took me ages to get into it. It took other people liking it before I liked it, you know.
Yeah. And my sister came out with one of them. And she was like, I don't know why she's always doing things like this. She was like, you have to give it back to me by midnight tomorrow night.
Wow.
And I remember just like frantically reading it. Trying to get
pretty good. Cute story.
Yeah, well, she could have just let me have it for another. Like, she was finished with it.
Yeah. Just bullying you. Actually, not a cute story. Actually, your sister's a bitch. All right, thanks, James.
Well, don't say that.
Cleared that up now. All right.
Also, don't say that. Go back to saying it was funny.
Look, it was cute. I liked it. Yeah. What an adorable story. What a little slice of Moran life.
Yeah. It's funny the amount of stories I tell that I think are funny, and then people are like, Well,
I thought it was funny. You were the one who told me it wasn't funny.
Do you remember The Elephant Man? Where he's doing the thing where the doctors are all looking at him.
Yeah.
I had to do that once.
Oh, wow.
That man.
How'd you feel about that?
They were trying to figure out what was wrong with me.
Yeah, I didn't know they were fucked in the head. No, there's no cure for it yet.
Yeah, he's sick, man. Sick in the fucking head. I get him out of here.
I don't want to get too personal with it, but did they make you like? Did you have to stand up there like stripped down? Like,
not all the way down. They weren't like, are his genitals normal?
Yeah.
Like in the thing. Yeah, one doctor like presented. Yeah, he was like, and except when they were talking about me, they were like, you can leave the room.
Yeah.
So they could be as brutal as they like, you know?
God.
What might they have said?
He's
ugly.
Dublin door?
Sure, he's ugly. Yeah. I leave the room, they're like, anyway, back to what if Ron was from Ballymena.
What was I going to say? Oh, fuck, it's entirely gone. I have a Trump quote here about Trump has named March Irish American Heritage Month. He says, they're a great people and they voted for me in heavy numbers, so I like them even more. You have to like them. You know you're not supposed to, but you have to like them. You're not supposed to.
Yeah, that is funny.
Did you see the one? I sent you the one with the astronaut, where he's like, "We're coming to get you," and he's like looking up at the heavens, and he's like, "Elon's gonna sort it. It's a long time to be up there. I hope they like each other. Maybe they love each other. Who knows?"
But this president won't let it happen. We're going to get them out. We're coming up to get you. I've authorized Elon. I said, can you get them out? Because, they've been left up there. I hope they like each other. But maybe they'll love each other. I don't know. But they've been left up there. Think of it. And
the thing is, they're not up there alone.
No?
Maybe they are.
I thought it was just the two of them.
It'd be good if a baby was born in space, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I went to a talk yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It was International Working Women's Day.
All right.
Either yesterday or the day before. But I went, there was like a Republican quiz being run.
Mm.
In the cobblestone. And it was like possibly the worst run thing I've ever been at in my life.
Yeah.
Republicans, it's like we were talking about. I'll tell you the story. Me and Ronan went, and we were like, "Oh, we'll go to a pub quiz." We turned up, and there's a talk by a Republican activist, Margaret McCartney, which was not good. It was like 15 minutes, and like it started off with like the original woman Republican was Queen Maeve.
Right.
Which is just a bad start to anything. You know what I mean? It's like Jesus was the original whatever.
Yeah. It's too far back, really.
It's too far back, and she wasn't real, I don't think. So it's not really relevant. And then she's just like a very potted history of women Republicans. And then the last one she mentioned was Dolores Price.
Right.
And then there's the music. The music was fine. There's some funny songs people were singing. And then there was a quiz. And by that stage, the MC was like completely locked. And he got up on stage and he just fired through the questions. He was like, there are 5 rounds, 5 questions each round. Okay, first question. And then he got to the end of the first round, immediately onto the second one. I'd say he did the whole quiz in about 10 minutes. And then he never collected the piece of paper. And then he got to the last question. And like, he gave no at any time. He just kept being like, if you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't. Okay, next question. And then he just fired through the answers. And he was like, okay, what did everyone get? So we just said, oh, we got 21 out of 24, or 21 out of 25. He said, these guys won. But we didn't get that. We just lied.
Did you win anything?
No.
What's the point of that then?
I have no idea. Like, I have no idea. And then there was a raffle. And it was sort of thing where there was one good prize and the rest was just like dreck. You know what I mean? And the good prize was someone had like, I don't know what the term is. It's like knitting a picture, if you get me.
Embroidery?
A word for, yeah, embroidered. There's a lot of embroidered like guns in a frame.
Yeah.
Just guns that have been used in the Republican movement, I guess.
Yeah.
And then there was like a t-shirt and some other shite, you know? And that was it. And I was leaving and I was like, it's never going to be a 32 county socialist republic. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't organise a table quiz.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't organise a revolution.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say.
Yeah. I was listening to Trademark Belfast. They do podcasts. They're quite good. But they had one, and it was Claire Daly and Bernadette McAliskey being interviewed.
Yeah.
But the first question was like, why do you think it's important to resist? And I was like, and then even they were kind of like, well, I think it's important to resist because there's no alternative. You know, like what are you supposed to do? And obviously they fleshed them out and turned them into like, you know, pretty, you know, it was good listening, you know. And then there would
what's
be
better,
like
giving up or resisting? Discuss.
just
You know that we were talking about it. You were talking about a course you did, and I said I've had very similar feelings. And it's like that thing in Arrested Development where Tobias is doing the Carl Weathers acting class.
yeah,
And
exactly.
then there's a point where Carl Weathers is like, get a few more bones, you got a stew going. And then he's like,
Yeah. Whoa, don't put still plenty of meat on that thing. You put that in the pot. Well, I can't remember what he says. You throw that in the pot, add some like, you know, asparagus or something there. Baby, you got a stew. That was one of the best.
Tobias goes, I think I want my money back.
Whoa. There's still plenty of meat on that bone. Now you take this home, throw it in a pot, add some broth, a potato. Baby, you got a stew going.
I think I'd like my money back.
Sometimes when you turn up to like leftist things, you're just like,
Yeah.
you're like, I think I want to go home now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a bit harsh, but I do get that feeling sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
You turn up
Sometimes they're
somewhere,
good.
they're all talking about like anime or something, and you're like, I think
Yeah.
I think
I
that's
don't know
enough.
what to do with this.
The other Republican L that happened this week was, you know, the thing that came out in it's like a member of the Oireachtas has been arrested and questioned by the guards for what was it, embezzlement or something?
No, it was
Or
fraud.
failing to disclose.
Alleged fraud.
Alleged fraud of 150,000, something like that.
I think it's the most desperate thing I've seen. Like, I mean, they've been doing a bunch of desperate moves, but like, this is akin to when Agent Cobalt, remember that? Oh, there's a Russian asset in the Dáil who has paramilitary links. Sinn Féin? No, they're like loyalists, but we'll put that in the small print and then we'll just throw that out there. And it's the same with like, you remember, it turns out everybody in Sinn Féin's a pedo. Brian Stanley, maybe a pedo, but obviously not a pedo. No, he's just like, but they throw it in with that smoke screen. So they go like, you know, they basically, there's a case and it's like, you know, they might have like jeopardized the case by bringing it into the public light, into the public the way that they've done. But they also don't seem to care. Because there was like another, like, so they have like, you know, it was revealed that it was Thomas Gould who, Sinn Féin, Cork TD. I fucking voted for him. I threw him a number.
Hope he paid you. Hope he bloody paid you.
He's like, well, I'm innocent. And then they ask like, Mary Lou, what's your take on it? And then she's like, well, I can't say anything. And obviously, you know, I can't fucking say anything. So like, it was just the most, to me, it seemed pretty calculated. But the headline that kind of gave it away for me is they go, second Sinn Féin TD linked with this case or whatever. And then you go, oh, they must have to say second because they can't name him. And then in the article, they name him. And I was like, oh, right. So they just wanted to get Sinn Féin in the headline. So it'll be like, look at them. They're all fucking at it.
Who was the other one?
I'll have to look it up. But for some reason, I did not put that link in the show notes.
Yeah, there's two people charged. This is my Waterford Whispers. Two people charged with fraud of money. Thomas Gould.
Yeah.
And Nate Silver.
Yeah, that's the guy I know. That guy definitely has the last name Silver. There's Joel Silver as well, the famous movie producer.
Okay, here. Thomas Gould and something Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. Harry Bitcoin.
Give me Bitcoin.
But yeah, it's basically just like, all right, what is it? Oh, it's just the Shinners up to something. Okay, what do they have to say? Well, they can't say anything because there's an ongoing court case. And it's like, okay, well, I guess thanks for telling me. Maybe come back when there's more information.
Yeah, like I was just thinking, the chance the Sinn Féin TD accused of fraud being asked to join the government as an independent increased dramatically.
Nice.
Do you get me?
Sorry, hold on. Some weird noise. No, I don't get it. Sorry.
I was just thinking that whoever this Sinn Féin TD is who's been accused of fraud, we're going to see him as an independent in the government.
Yeah.
I think the odds of that increase.
Okay.
That was a Waterford Whispers headline.
Is that a Waterford Whispers headline?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I was like, yeah, that's funny. It wasn't like ha funny, but you know.
Local man. No, bullshit.
I'm going to look up Harold News while you're at it. Do you remember him?
No.
He was like this Twitter account and he puts up like sub Waterford Whispers. It's bastard. Last time he posted was January 14th and it says exclusive sneak peek at the program for government, and the picture says program for government 2025 to 2029 enrich our cronies.
See, I'm teaching a comedy course at the moment. I think the feedback I'd give that is it's nearly too on the nose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a bit, program for government. We're all fucking crooks. You know what I mean? Program for government. Abandon all promises.
Yeah. Broken promise. That's not what about like getting too angry to make the joke. Yeah, this is something that they do. Break promises 2025 to 2029.
2025 to question mark.
Yeah.
Because they're
just getting putting too many variables in as well. That's another. Dude, breaking. Clare hotel owner announces plan to invade Greenland. Get it?
Yeah, who are they talking about though? Wait a minute.
Sorry, there's another
Trump's hotel in Clare.
Remember that really funny picture of Colin Farrell meeting Simon Harris, where Colin Farrell has the headband on?
Oh yeah.
So it's got like the picture of Simon Harris with Colin Farrell, and then a zoomed in look on Colin Farrell's face, and it reads, "The face you make when Simon Harris asks if preparing to play the penguin involved spending time with real penguins." Good stuff.
I have to think about that one.
Yeah. Bono says the name Bono is of Hebrew origin and means man who ignores injustice. That's a bit more righteous now. I can get behind that one a bit more.
That's a real clap there, you know?
Yeah.
Dr. Harold comes out and says that one. Doesn't get a laugh, but it gets a round of applause, you know?
Yeah, and he's got his eyebrow raised. He's got his elbow on the desk. And he's like waiting patiently for them to finish.
Yeah, but they just keep going. Then
you
think it's dying down, it just comes back up. The energy just comes back up, you know what I mean?
Except if it was in America, probably not going to happen.
Here's an unabridged version of Taoiseach's pre-prepared White House remarks. They've been leaked.
All right.
And this is real now. Thank you. Have I said it enough times?
I can't believe you'd say something like that. I can't believe you would.
I can't believe you'd slam JD Vance in such a subtle but obvious way. I'm delighted to be here, Mr. President, on this, the 12th of March, which, as we all know, is the real date of St. Patrick's Day. Oh, sorry. St. Patty's Day.
Shut
As it is
up,
correctly known.
Shut up.
Did I mention that you're taller, more handsome, and more orange in person?
Shut up.
Um,
Why does this stuff? Who cares that they write this? Why does it bother me? Why do I hate it? Why does it make me angry? You know, it makes me like. I'm like, if they're getting that money, we should be getting half of what Water for Whispers make. I genuinely think that. Okay.
yeah. How much do you think they get per year? Per month?
Here's another bit of news that's just come up, by the way. Sorry. Bertie Ahern says his New Year's resolution is to support the environment by encouraging people to send him money via Revolut instead of giving him brown envelopes. Can you believe it?
It's mad that he just comes out like. That's the thing about modern politics. Like, all subtlety's gone. You know what I mean? You couldn't have said that back in the day. Well, now they're saying it. Now they're bloody saying it. Here's one. No, I'm just gonna. Here's some news I'm thinking of now.
That's what news is kind of things that come into your head. Sometimes people say things, so that means that they go into your head and then it comes out as news. But news doesn't have to be somebody says something to you and then it comes out. Sometimes it can be something you thought up and then it comes out your mouth.
Yeah. What else? Oh, I totally don't want to go to war. Said guy who really secretly wants to go to war.
Nice, yeah. That's the thing. It is the thing that you have to do is you have to write a sentence that's the exact opposite of something that you think, and then somehow turn that into a headline. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, you see something that's happening, and it'll be like, you know, they're trying to get rid of the triple lock. Okay, so then you have to be like, yeah, but that's like a guy is it'll be like, I really care about the triple lock, says Lockheed Martin lobbyist.
Yeah. What about loads more houses to be built, promises Dara O'Brien bullshittingly, he said.
There'd be something about like how being homeless is the new being housed, something like that, you know.
Yeah, something like that. It'd be like,
government's latest innovation is enshrining homelessness in the Constitution.
That's almost too clever.
All right.
You know? What about it'd be like, I know he has been in government, he hasn't been in politics for about 5 years. But Owen Murphy, you know, following on his remarks about co-living being like a nice hotel, he says homelessness is like camping, glamping.
I was thinking about Owen Murphy giving like apartments 4 stars on TripAdvisor or something like that.
Yeah.
Again, there's elements of these, you can piece them together yourself. I'm just kind of like tired and burnt out. I don't want to do it. It's not a good time to have a comedy politics podcast.
Sometimes I'm worried my brain is stuck in like 2019. You know what I mean? Then for the rest of my life, I'll be like, said Owen Murphy.
I was thinking about that with Varadkar, you know?
Yeah.
As in, like, years later, you're bringing up, what Varadkar did, and then they go, well, I don't know who that is.
Yeah. He was Taoiseach 20 years ago, and he was gay. You don't get it. You weren't there.
Each one of them outdoes themselves with how much I hate them. Because now I'm actually like being like, do you know what? Varadkar wasn't that bad because I hate Micheál Martin so much more.
No. Varadkar was awful.
He was awful. But like, no, whatever. I just at the current moment, this kind of horn for war, I'm just like, I find it so disgusting and appalling. And the idea of dismantling something that everybody in Ireland likes. And, you know, like people love our neutrality. I remember being in school and then they would go
Here we go.
All right.
And next thing we're going to just get rid of is, said Micheál Martin.
Yeah.
Is the chicken fillet roll.
Yeah.
First neutrality, then chicken fillet roll.
Yeah.
Says Martin. Bullshittingly.
There's like what do Irish people like? They like chicken fillet rolls and they like neutrality. Okay, it'll be written up like after getting rid of the thing that Irish people like, neutrality. Martin sets his eyes on the chicken fillet roll, on abolishing and banning the chicken fillet roll.
Yeah.
Do you know what's messed up though? When I was in London, okay, I'd be like, God, I'd love to go into a fucking deli. And they don't have any delis over there. They don't have any place you go in and you just, well, they do, like some places, but it'll be like, I don't know, fucking Whole Foods, but they won't be the same. My cousin said to me, he's like, I love the way you go into every petrol station in Ireland and they just have a place that gives you like jambons and a sandwich and stuff, and like a roll. I was like, do they not have that there? And then he said no. And I didn't truly appreciate what that meant until I lived there. You know? Like walking around, it was like, the only thing you can get is those like cold sandwiches from the fridge. Awful.
I know. Like the fact that there are petrol stations plural.
Yeah.
Where you can get a carvery is, you know.
That is mental. That is actually crazy.
Whereas over in England, if you're getting like and their sandwiches are not to do with Gareth Noon, but you know the sandwiches are like you get one that's like prawn cocktail.
Well, you have that here, but yeah, I take your point. Like they had cheese and onion. Do you remember I told you about that one?
Yeah.
Or it'll be like Plowman's lunch, and it'll be like, or like the you know, something called like, you know, the Englishman's bag, and it'll be like a piece of fucking cheese that's like leather, and then like one solitary slice of tomato that's like, you know, half of the tomato.
Yeah, it's like half an egg or something like that.
I was in a restaurant, like it was like a pub, like gastro pub, and it was like lunchtime. And I ordered this sandwich. I can't remember what it was, but here it was. It was like a cheese sandwich, okay? Or something like that. But because I was looking at the price, I was like, there's no way that this sandwich isn't going to be toasted. They're not going to bring a piece of fucking like cold bread and they won't charge you £14 for it and include chips on the side if it's going to be just a cold piece of bread. And that's exactly what it was. It arrived and it was literally like, imagine the bag of cheese from Tesco and you take out the grated cheese and you just sprinkle it over it. Like ice cold next to like piping hot chips. And I was just like, some of the stuff they do in England, you're just kind of like, the mind boggles, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me try and find out what the sandwich was. I'll get to the menu of this place. This is the type of episode it is, folks. I'm looking up a menu for a place that I ate a sandwich.
I know. I get so much of English cuisine is just disgusting, you know. And then you see stuff that's like regional cuisine. Like, have you ever seen the thing Stargazy Pie?
No.
And it's like a pie, and there's like whole fish in it.
Yeah.
Like the whole fish is in it, like the eyes and everything.
Like you're a fucking cartoon.
Yeah, but the like fish's heads stick out the top. It's like something that like Lady and the Tramp would eat. Or maybe not Lady and the Tramp then. What's the other one?
Hopcat.
The cat. Parisian cat. What's that one called?
Aristocats. And they call it the Aristocats. That's me messing up the punchline for the aristocrats. They're like, what? The Aristocats? Oh, you just got epic 20-minute long. And then the dad fucks the mother, and then the mother.
Yeah.
And you get to the end, and they call it the Aristocat. Crats, fuck. Fuck.
Did you find the name of the sandwich yet?
Find out if he did in the second half over on patreon.com/CelticLigers. In the rest of the episode, the Ligers talk about the Americans disappearing a Palestinian activist, Frank Coughlan of the Irish Indo having a pop at our beloved Tadhg Hickey. And then to close us out, an article by Leo Varadkar, who is big on reunification now, don't ya know.